Well, howdy.
Howdy.
We're still at World War Brick, and with us is the world famous director. No, wait, you're even more famous than that, Robert Rodriguez. You're the Robert Rodriguez.
I am the Robert Rodriguez.
The Roman guy.
Yeah, I'm actually older than the director by like a couple of months, actually. So I'm the Robert Rodriguez. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, you have made a wonderful thing here. Words, I can't find the words to describe it other than maybe epic,
wow,
cool, off the charts, and
that's much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Tell us a little bit about your Roman fort.
Well, last year, and actually years before, when Brickmania released their Roman collection, their amazing builds that they had were unfortunately quite expensive, where I couldn't really afford them. But what I wanted to do was do something similar within my budget, if you want to say it that way.
Right.
And so as I was looking at their pictures, because you know they do their sit reps and they do still photography on a lot of their models and stuff like that, the one thing that I wanted to do was copy their archway, their entranceway, like their gateways, because of the size of the gateways, so that way chariots and horse-drawn carriages would fit through there and all that kind of stuff. But outside of that, I wanted my own design. The kicker, though, is that Romans had a very standard architecture, and so whether I did one or Brickmania or any other person out there, our fortresses or our architecture is really going to look the same. That's right. What's going to happen. So I decided to start out with the main gate, which is over here. And I did this, and then I did one of the barracks over here, and the granary, which is the refrigerator. I call it the Roman refrigerator. And then I did the Principia. The whole idea of just doing those structures was I wanted to do a mock like of a battle scene where a fortress was being taken over. Well, when I finished those, I realized that the fortress just didn't look finished. So I decided to build a wall around it. And then, so the final dimensions for the first phase, as I call it now, was 60 inches by 40 inches. So it was 60 inches long by 40 inches wide. And then I wanted to show it, but the first time I was going to be able to show it was here at World War Brick. But in January, one of my friends told me about Brick Convention Fort Worth, which was in April. So I decided that given the opportunity, I would display it at Fort Worth. Well, in the form that it was in at Fort Worth, it turned out to be a big hit with the crowd and stuff like that. And during the visitation with the fans and all that kind of stuff, I decided, I kept telling them like a dummy, I'm going to expand it. Well,
you said it, you got to do it.
Right. And so what happened was I ended up doing that and expanding it, but then I only had like 6 weeks before this show. And because I was expanding it, I put myself under the gun, and in 6 weeks I expanded it by 33%. And wow. And so what happened was I added another barracks where the centurion stays, and then of course all the barracks rooms look the same. They have 6 bunk beds in each one. So between the two buildings, 26 soldiers can stay in there. And then I added the, as I call it, the Governor General's residence, or the base commander residence, and the bathhouse, and then the workshops as well.
Really like the way you did the streets.
Thank you. I've seen a lot of people, we all as Lego builders borrow stuff from everybody, and I saw the cobblestone work from somebody else years ago, and I've actually incorporated that in various mocks, and I liked it for this one as well.
Are there any special features or things that you especially like about the build? Little things like in the buildings or?
Well, what I really wanted to do was make sure each building had its own character and it was detailed and stuff like that. I think my favorite, after taking it this far was the foyer or the entranceway to the residence, where you could see the lion.
Yeah.
And it's very imposing. So when you actually enter, if we were minifig scale, and you enter, the first thing you're going to see is this lion jumping at you.
Yeah.
And such. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But I generally just like it all, because I sit there and just look at it when it's in this form, for lack of a better term, when it's complete and all the minifigures in place. I just like to look at it, because I wanted to make it alive, per se. Like, you know, you're looking at a artwork, or like a painting, or a rendition, or something like that.
Is this your first giant mock of this scale?
No, I've built.
I have a feeling you.
Yeah, I've built a helicopter assault ship that was 8 feet long.
Wow.
I've built a large Vietnam mock, various different ones, but this one is the largest footprint to date.
If people wanted to follow you or look at your work, do you have any social media?
Yes, I do. I am on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. I don't do YouTube. I'm just not movie inclined, so to speak, but I do like doing that.
Unlike your name's
just doing like that stuff. I just never got around to doing that, because it is time consuming to edit, and I do appreciate guys like you that do videos and stuff like that, and because you do take the time to edit and do videos. I've seen your work where you've done like kit reviews and things like that, and I think that was pretty cool. One thing I'd like to mention is my banner for the Fortress.
Yes.
I actually was lucky enough that Dan was able to do a banner for me, and the banner, by translation, on top is Legion 173, and on the bottom it's called Of the Herd, but in our terms it would be the Herd. The reason it's like that is because my dad, who was killed in Vietnam, was with the 173rd Airborne Brigade, and they were the Herd, so I did that for them.
That's very cool.
And then there's 2 Easter eggs. The fun one is this. In the infirmary, because the Romans did have an infirmary, I have 2 famous characters in there. And one is Hawkeye Pierce, and one is Hot Lips Houlihan from the TV show MASH. So they're the ones that are taking care of my Roman soldiers.
That's hilarious.
And then the second one is over here, and it's very subtle, and that's the intent, is that because this is Legion 173's base, I made sure to have 173 placed in there.
That is wicked cool. Well, I'm telling you now, if you did get on YouTube and you did something, and you say like a new film by Robert Rodriguez, and it would be legitimate, you could have like millions of views. It would go viral.
It's possible, but now like I said, if I had somebody that was real skilled at doing the videos and stuff like that, I would love to do that, because it's neat watching everybody else, yourself included, that do those, because I sit there and just watch and see how everybody does it. Yeah. And that's how I got into Lego conventions, was watching Beyond the Brick do their like reviews of a convention. They would walk around and show us all the builds and things like that, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then they would talk about their favorites and such.
All right, well, Robert, really appreciate you taking us on a tour.
No worries.
And it's an awesome exhibit, and hats off to you for making it your own and not just doing Brickmania.
Well,
you know, there'd be anything wrong.
No. One of the things I did appreciate from Brickmania is the outstanding work that Amanda did on the figures, the Roman soldiers and stuff like that. And
some of the best figures they ever done.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, but I believe the Archer was done by somebody else, but she did all the Roman soldiers themselves. The rest of the figures are actually a combination of different Lego minifigures as well, and so it turned out really well as far as how I combined the use of my personal custom Roman soldiers and using the Brickmania figures as well.
Well done. We look forward to seeing more work from you.
Thank you. I hope next year to bring a World War II North Africa mock.
Oh,
that'll be the next one to bring.
That'd be tight.
Yep.
We'll be here to cover it.
Oh, no worries. Thanks a lot for the interview. Appreciate it. No worries.